So what's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. I hope you're doing well. So basically today we will be s- putting in some wisdom and we will be speaking about the formula of life. Now, granted, this is obviously my take. So you might have a different formula. My friends might have a different formula. Your family might have a different formula. So this is very subjective. So do keep in mind that I am speaking for myself, and obviously I am only speaking with regards to my 25 years of being alive. So I cannot speak like a 50-year-old, but I can speak personally from what I've learned throughout the last few years. And that is the obviously different people at different ages experience different things. So do not judge, basically. But yes, so obviously our perspective of life changes as we grow older. So my current perspective is very different than my perspective 4 to 5 years ago. And I'm pretty sure that if we do this video again in 5 years' time, my perspective then would be also quite different because perspective evolves. And obviously, the older you get, the wiser you should get, and typically the more information that you have, you can take different approaches to different challenges or different obstacles. But I'm doing this video as a 25-year-old or almost 25-year-old with my current perspective. So this is what I think the formula of life is all about at this point in time. So let's start off with the phrase, everything lost can be found again, except for time wasted. Now, if you actually had to understand and go back through maybe an experience that you've had in the past, let's say you've lost, I don't know, maybe you've did an investment and you've lost a few thousand euros. Let's say you've lost, I don't know, something valuable, personal to you that it was valuable. Now think of this, like everything that is materialistic, most of it can be found again. You can replace it. Time wasted, on the other hand, is something that once lost, it's never coming back. So this phrase is to get you thinking of the time that you spend wasting time on a daily basis. Now you might do, I don't know, 30 minutes of endlessly scrolling through bullshit. That 30 minutes will never come back. Now obviously, granted, we are all subject to the algorithm and we are all like slaves and at some point to scrolling, but just keep in mind that time wasted cannot be returned. And one should ask himself, what is life? What is life? What is this? So, and at this point in time, with this current, with my current knowledge, I can answer this question that life is a journey. And recently I was listening to a podcast which pretty much goes into the meaning of life. And basically what they talked about was life is enjoying the passage of time. Life is all about enjoying the passage of time. And it's actually a beautiful phrase because it gets you thinking what actually is the point of life. And without getting stuck in the deep end, it's actually enjoying the current moment. Like right now, I'm enjoying this time filming this video. When I go to the gym after this, I will enjoy the struggle of trying to improve and get better. So I love this actually. It's actually quite a nice way to explain the journey of life, enjoying the passage of time. So, pretty much like the one thing that I've learned throughout the last few years is that we should make the most of what we have. Regardless of what we have, you should play the cards that you have been dealt with. Yes, sometimes you are handed over some not like nasty cards. Sometimes you are in tricky situations where you're bound to lose, but you always have to keep in mind that you have to play the best possible outcome, regardless of what you have. So, do not compare what your neighbor, your friend, your peer might have. Just focus on yourself, focus on your game. Because I'm pretty sure that if you focus on your game, things will get better for you. Maybe not right now, or maybe you might not be able to see it right now, but life is full of ups and downs. So, if you are currently battling an uphill, there will be a view at some point. So, and with regards to the above, it's all about embracing every emotion, every thought. Because without the darkness, you will not appreciate the light. Without the pain, you will not appreciate the reward. Without the struggle, you will not appreciate it. So, appreciate everything. If you're going through a pretty rough moment, appreciate this, because when the time will come and you will experience the ups of life, you will be able to say, wow, or you would be able to compare to when you were not feeling so good. So it's all about embracing everything. And obviously, like the goals of life are specific to every individual. But if I had to if I had to ask you these questions, and do this now actually, grab a piece of paper or maybe on your phone and write down these questions. How do you define success? And what is success to you? Now, I want you to go back after watching this video and answer these questions as detailed as possible for yourself. So, obviously, I will do this exercise as well, which actually I've already done this exercise. And make sure that you are as specific as possible. So, if you can answer it, for example, you want to be financially wealthy, don't write that. Right? I want to have X amount by this date. I want to have this car, this model with this engine, whatever, by this date. Specific. Be specific. Be specific in what you want. Because we all can say, I want to be financially wealthy, but that will not make you like chase that. The more specific you are, the more you are into the details, the more you can visualize it. So be as detailed as possible. And another point like about the formula of life is that everyone takes a different path. Everyone. So do not go and compare your path or your journey to someone else's journey. Because first of all, you might not know the obstacles that the other person might have had to deal with to basically arrive where he currently is. And everyone is on a different path. So make sure that you focus on your own journey, you focus on your next step, and you do not compare to other people. When you're about to compare, if you are going to compare as a way to motivate yourself. Compare as a way to drive yourself. For example, if you have a mentor that is well ahead of you, compare in a way and say that you're going to achieve that level. Compare in a good way, not in a jealousy way. So just make sure that basically when you compare, you are comparing but attracting the positive energy from it, not the negative. Don't hate on people, never. So yes, so basically, like, obviously, since everyone takes a different path, there's many ways to be successful. Everyone will find their own way of success. My success will not be your success, and pretty much like everyone has his own version of success. So obviously, don't be demotivated when you are speaking about your success with other people and they kind of like either do not understand you or they call you out or something like that. Everyone has their own way of defining success. So do not be worried if no one gets what you are envisioning. But one thing that should be case for all is that you should persistently pursue to your fullest potential. You should always strive to reach your fullest potential. You should always strive to become better in any way or form that this might be for you. You should always strive to grow mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever. You should always be on the move. You should always move forward, regardless of how slow that might be. So, answer this question. I think one of them is related like with the others. So, add these questions to the previous ones. Like, what does success mean to you? Answer this. And obviously, this will give you a bit of like it will give you a bit of an endpoint towards your journey. So you might be able to understand where you want to go, which direction you want to take in life. So it's a very important question. And another thing which is really, really like a very hot topic right now, chase your own success, not what others deem as successful. So if I had to speak with family members, their success is not my success. I do not want to become the typical, like, the average human being. I've always strived to be different. And I was okay with that. So whenever I speak about what I'm currently doing, everyone's trying to like, you're crazy, you might lose it all. This is your fourth business that you tried. You're going to waste a secure job for something that you might not even know that if it's going to work out. Like, when are you going to settle? When are you going to buy a place? When are you going to find someone to settle with? And the answer is always like, when the time's right, things will fall into place. So, and I feel like right now, this is not something that I want to do. So I will not do this, And there's like successful people will tell you, do not take a certain type of advice from someone that is not living the life that you want to live. So if, let's say, for example, my friends are trying to give me advice, but they're not living the life that I myself would want to live, why am I going to be taking advice from them? If my friends were successful, were what I imagine to be myself in the next 5 years and this kind of stuff, and they're giving me advice, obviously they're already living that life. So it makes more sense for me to take advice from them. Or if there is someone on the path to go into that life, maybe he's a few steps ahead of me and he's giving me some advice regarding my journey that he witnessed a few months ago, for example, that's also a point where you should take in what they say. Because the person that you are taking advice from has to have gone through what you might be going through right now. Otherwise, the advice can be superficial. So if I ever make some type of video that's titled how to make $1 million in your 20s, but I've never made $1 million in my 20s, like, how can you relate to that advice? How can it be realistic? So if I'm making a video titled on the formula of life, it's the formula of life based on my opinion right now, based on what I've learned right now throughout my life. And basically, that's one thing you have to keep in mind. So, because most people say that success is when you're happy, but is it really? Define happiness. Like, would you be able to define happiness if I had to ask you? Because happiness is an emotion. It's like when you're feeling sad. So, it's quite difficult to comprehend exactly what it actually is. Because, as I mentioned previously, without the darkness, you will not understand or appreciate the light. Without, like, it's a very simple concept, you know? So focus on your controllables and then get to ask yourself, what can I control? You can control a lot of things in your life, which will dictate whichever way you will move forward. People struggle to realize the amount of things that they can control. You can control a lot of things. You can control your food. You can control your self-talk, how you talk to yourself. You can control your actions. You can have control over your thoughts. You can have control over the way you feel by training, eating healthy, consuming good stuff. These are all things that we control. And a lot of these things are inputs. And with the inputs, you get to affect the output. So focus on what you can control. Once you focus on what you can control, you are making your path easier. There's a lot of people that will tell you that they are lost in life, that you have to maybe discover your purpose. They don't know what their purpose is. And obviously, everyone is different. I think I did figure out my purpose, although I'm not sure yet. Because maybe in a few years' time, I might realize that this is not actually what I wanted to do, and I might take on a different path. But so far, I feel quite fulfilled with what I'm doing. And if you had to try to understand exactly what your purpose is, first of all, by finding your purpose isn't something that you do in a split of a second. You don't just sit down and come up with your purpose. It's a journey. But one thing that might help is list down your values, list down your vision, and the most importantly, list down your ideal life. Write with as much detail as possible. This will already give you quite a general idea of where you want to go. And then list down your ideal day. List down how you want to spend your day. I want to wake up at 7 a.m., go for a coffee, morning calls, have some meetings, go for a workout, go for good lunch, go for a nice dinner, and sleep at 10 p.m. This is my ideal day. List down in detail how you would want to spend your ideal day. And then I just identify a step goal. List down the steps. What you think you can do to achieve whatever your ideal day or life is. And then try to understand what drives you forward, what gives you fulfillment. To me, creativity brings me fulfillment. I enjoy creating, whatever that can be. Video, photos, websites, content, businesses. Whenever I'm creating, I'm in a creative space, I feel fulfilled. So whenever I'm doing these videos and giving you guys value, it gives me fulfillment because first of all, I enjoy it. Second of all, I'm being creative. I'm learning something new. I am passing down a message that might inspire some of you. So generally, it just gives me fulfillment. And I just want to end this video here on a very positive note, where I want to encourage you to ask yourself these questions and understand your current point in life and where you want to go. And I do wish you the best of luck in your journey. If you have any sort of questions, or you would want to discuss something, or maybe run an idea or this kind of stuff, do feel free to come into my DMs and basically have a chat. And I just wish you the best. Do not forget to like and subscribe this video. That means a lot to me. And I hope you have a beautiful day.